and gentlemen, welcome to the Barigo BC2 show. I am your host, Bill Cancel. Happy Sunday, everybody. A little bit of a chilly morning this morning, but not as cold as yesterday, which is nice. But it's nice. It's this nice time of year to be in a hoodie again and all snuggled and so on and so forth. So it's great. I hope everybody's morning starting off good. You got your coffee, you got your tea, you're getting ready to go. And because that means it's now time for the Under the Radar show. This is a really important show. If you've never watched it before, under the Radar highlights the stories that are not being widely reported in in mainstream media, but they're very important. So it's apropos that we call the show Under the Radar because a lot of these things are just sneaking under the radar. We're not bringing the necessary awareness to people about these stories, and that's the purpose of this show. So let's get started. First one. This just totally pissed me off. This is by the Guardian this morning. Pregnant women in immigration detention report medical neglect. What's going on? According to civil rights organizations, pregnant women in Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE custody in the U.S. have reported serious issues, miscarriages, delayed medical care, being shackled during labor, being held in solitary confinement. Why does this matter? This raises major human rights and public health questions at the intersection of immigration policy and material paternal care. For, um, it's a systemic issue for vulnerable populations. Pause. There's one thing that's not being mentioned here, and again, that is the fight against women. It's the fight to control women. These are women, regardless of their documentation status. I really don't give a rat's fucking ass. They're human beings. They're women. They should be treated with dignity. They should be treated with the proper medical care, especially if they're elected. And oh, by the way, where's the pro-life people on in a situation like this when the child could possibly suffer and die because of the neglect that the mother's getting? Are they screaming? Anybody? Any pro-life people screaming? It just, oh my God. Number two, this is by The Guardian also. Pentagon tries to require media pledge to accept only officials info. What's going on? The United States Department of Defense introduced a policy proposal that would require media outlets covering its briefings to pledge not to obtain unauthorized files and accept their lighter restrictions on access. Major outlets have refused to sign. Mr. Kegsbreath, I have a question for you. Why would you do this unless you're hiding something? I thought you were supposed to be the most. Mike Johnson thinks you're the most transparent DOD leader ever. So what are you trying to restrict, Mr. Kegsbreath? I'm not following it. This one should make everybody's hair stand up. The next one, this is by the United Nations. Global economic outlook slipping, but few notice. Global economic outlook slipping, but few notice. What's going on? The International Monetary Fund's October 2025 World Economic Outlook flags global growth now poised for serious downside risk, coupled with food insecurity data. The UN says 8.2 the global population is food insecure. 8.2% of the population is food insecure, but we need a fucking ballroom. And I'm going to go on record on this one. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so, but I don't remember the global economic outlook being bad under the Biden administration. I suspect and firmly believe that Trump caused all of this across the globe, which is not too far fetched considering many economists did say that his actions would trigger a global calamity of the economy. And here we are. Number four, this is by Wikipedia. U.S. military strikes on alleged drug traffickers in Caribbean and Pacific. So this is now getting wider and bigger now. So now we went out of the Caribbean. Now we're going into the Pacific. I think we're up to 10 crafts that have been shot and people killed. The U.S. has been conducting strikes on vessels on the Caribbean Sea and Eastern Pacific alleged to be run by drug trafficking organizations, e.g., Tren de Aragua, National Liberation Army of Colombia, under the Trump administration. These actions haven't received major public or media debate yet. Um, this is WMD all over again. All over again. And why do I say that? Because we were screaming for proof of weapons of mass destruction before we decided to invade Iraq. Screaming. Everybody was. I was a Republican at that time. And George Bush is the one who started me off my path to the Republican Party. Um, because of the lies. If Trump knew what he was doing, or Kegexpress knows what he was doing, there would be tons. I would personally be proud if I was them to show footage after footage of evidence, um, showing the trafficking, showing the drugs, and so on and so forth. But one, you can't because you've obliterated the fucking evidence. And two, it has to be coming from land. So why are you not following that trail to see where it's coming from? Because there isn't any. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, and form that Latin America is not responsible for a large amount of the drug issues that we have. But then again, it's a supply and demand business. The demand is in the United States. The supply comes from South America. Cut the demand, you cut the supply. Um, but they're just making shit up at this point. That's all it is. They're just making shit up to convince people that we have to go and invade Iraq. I mean, Venezuela. And I do firmly believe that we are days, weeks, months away from boots on the ground in Venezuela. For what? With no targets, no nothing. For what? Scary. This is another one to end on a bad note. This is by ABC News and Al Jazeera. U.S. federal workers may not get automatic back pay amid shutdown. What's going on as the U.S. federal government shutdown drags on? A White House memo suggests that federal workers may not receive automatic back pay once funding is restored, meaning this shutdown is now one of the longest in U.S. history. So, translation to that, um, very simple. Has said to you.